Sure. Hey, baby. Say, well,
Are we live or are we just taking a moment? Hey, Eric,
hey,
and we
it's
did
lovely.
it.
It
Took a
is lovely.
moment, didn't it?
It did take a moment. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited.
Look wonderful.
I'm in Chicago and it's just so wonderful and everything is so exciting and people are really having a great time and oh, it's just so good. It's just so good.
Well, welcome first and foremost. Before we get rolling, and if I can just have you to please kind of adjust your camera a little bit so you don't have so much headroom.
Okay.
Bring it down. There you go. Just like that. Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect. Just like that.
Erica will help me. Is that good enough or do you want more face? You want to like
I'm
look at
sorry.
me. You want more
That's
face?
great. No, that's great. That's great.
Okay.
If I can get, well, hello, first of all. Thank you so much
Hello.
for being willing to do this.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be able to do it, Eric. We can make it better if you like. Is this good
No,
enough?
no, this is great. Thank you so much. If
Okay.
I can get your first and last name spelled out, please.
Okay. I am Darrell, Darrell,
ELL. And last
and
name.
Parish Bakeman. I did the
Parrish.
whole name. Parish, Parishakeman.
All right. Darrell, is this your first convention?
This is my first Democratic convention. I actually attended one Republican convention in my lifetime. I did it when I lived in Chicago, and at the time I was doing political consulting, and I had a candidate that was running for office who was a friend, and he happened to be a Republican, and he invited me to the convention. So I was in Detroit at the nomination of Ronald Reagan. That tells you how old I am. But that was when you could work, you could have friends on both sides of the aisle and you could do things and nobody thought anything of it. I am a Democrat. I have only been a Democrat, but because of my relationships and things I did when I lived here, it was easy for me to do that.
Do, do you mind sharing your age?
No, I don't. You ready for this? I am 77 years old. I will be 78 in September, and I have lived in Arizona for 25 years and never done anything in politics until 2 years ago. I only did national campaigns until 2 years ago.
What does it mean to be at the convention as one of the 85 delegates from
Oh,
Arizona? Well, 91 total, but there are six alternates, so the 91 total delegates. But ultimately, what does it mean to be an Arizona delegate in Chicago this year?
so I need to say it in two. I need to do the personal and then the thing that you're supposed to do while you're here, if you don't mind. I've been involved in politics, you know my age now, for many, many years. This is the only thing I've ever done that I wanted to really do. And that's to attend the Democratic National Convention and to raise my hand and say, I'm from Arizona and I pledge 85 delegate points to the next president of the United States. Being able to set, to articulate that I was involved in the process that would elect the next president of the United States was the greatest gift that I would be able to give. So to be able to vote for Kamala Harris as a delegate, as an Arizona delegate, pledging my support for her, and then subsequently as a collective part of the Arizona delegation to pledge our delegates to elect what we believe will be in November the next president of the United States is the greatest gift that anyone who's worked in politics could ever have. It's pretty special.
That's awesome to hear. And I wonder how you feel. Tonight, we will see President Biden pass the baton, pass the torch, if you will. When I talked to you the first time, and we were trying to do an interview and we couldn't yet, you had told me, and this was 4 days after that debate performance in Atlanta. You had told me I want him to stay in. He has to stay in.
Oh, yeah. You know why?
No, that's why I wanted to ask you about it.
Because I'm a team player, and I know one thing for sure that you know my age. I didn't think age was a big thing because I'm working my butt off, and I knew he was too. But the real thing was that in my lifetime, as you know, I've been involved in politics. This man, President Joseph R. Biden, has been the most effective president we have ever had. They say, why do you say that? Because a lot of people fail to understand the role of president. Too many people think it's I like him or I don't like him. I like this, I don't like. The reality is what he does to deliver legislation that affects your daily life. And what if you will look historically at legislation that has been passed under prior presidents, you will then realize why I made that statement. Joseph R. Biden has passed 3 major legislative acts that affect your daily life. And not many people that go to the White House do that. That's why. He needs to be celebrated for that. And he needs to be celebrated for the fact that with his wisdom he's had over the many years he's been in politics, he was able to shore up our international relationships that help to keep us safe, whether people know it or not, because we cannot go it alone if anything happens. We have to be part of other people. We do not do anything by ourselves, country or abroad. We have to look out for ourselves. But if push come to shove, historically, you understand you cannot do anything by yourself. So Joseph R. Biden shored up our international relationships. Those 2 things.
You'll be in the United Center in the hall tonight when he comes out. I imagine there'll be a rather lengthy ovation for President Biden, and I wonder what you'll be thinking when that goes on.
I'll be saying thank you so much for your service, for your unconditional humanitarian service that showed the type of leaders that we should have, one who has humanity and humility. You can say a lot of things about a lot of people, but what you know about Joe Biden, he had humanity and humility, and he showed it every day of his political life. And I will be saying thank you, Joe Biden, for the type of president you were and for what you did while you were in that office. It showed that you cared about someone other than yourself. You cared about us. And that's what I'll be saying.
You know, I wonder, have you seen anything like the enthusiasm we have seen over the last month for Kamala Harris? It is there is not only a new energy, but there seems to be a new purpose.
There is a new energy and there is a new purpose. You know why? I don't think people realize this, but when you live through something as traumatic as a pandemic where you can't go out, you're worried about dying, you've been wearing masks, and then, you get out of it and you're still trying to survive and figure out life because things are trying to get back to normal, but they're not. And you just have to keep going on and you keep going on, you keep trying. And then you realize the prices of this and this is this and this is that. And life is just more complicated and more different. and you were trying to figure, you wanted some hopefulness, and there was no coming at you. And then all of a sudden, it's like the day breaks and there's dawn, and on the horizon is something more powerful, more energizing, more positive, more encouraging. And all you can do is say, "Oh, thank you. I needed to hear something good." And what Kamala Harris is offering is something good. It looks good, it feels good, and you believe it's good because it is. It's all good. That's what I can say about this. I think everybody was waiting for someone to break through and give them some hopefulness for today and tomorrow. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz offering that. And we have needed it. We've been without it for too long. And we're encouraged by it. And look at what it's doing for our young people. I've been knocking on doors and young people were not happy. Young people are enthusiastic. They're creating the networks within the social media train. They're doing things that people like myself wouldn't even know how to do because they're excited to be able to get our young electorate excited. You know, there has to be more going on here than just Kamala herself. And we're really excited about that. And so we all joining in. What can we say? It's wonderful.
Darrell, can you talk to the platform folks? I know Rahina is part of the platform
Yes.
committee. Can you talk to them about getting a primetime speech for yourself during this convention? You're fantastic.
So excited. You know, I was telling someone today that you talked to me before, Eric, that I was trying to help everybody to try and be encouraged, and nobody was, and I was disappointed. Well, now I can calm down and just watch everybody else be encouraged. Do you know how that makes me feel? That we have something that good that people are excited. I don't have to be as excited as I used to be because everybody else is. It's really quite wonderful. It's so wonderful. It's really the best thing that I've had happen in a long time. We're all in this together. That's what our motto was originally before 1956 when someone thought it should change to "In God We Trust," like we didn't. But you know, we started out with a pluribus unum. This is who we are as a country. This was the intention of our country. And I think people are feeling it and wanting it and understand its importance. And I'm thankful that Kamala Harris, our nominee, and Tim Walz, our nominees, are acting like it. We're all in this together.
I, I'm curious. You're 77 years old. This is your first convention.
Yes.
You you're going to see an African American woman accept
Yes.
the
Yes.
Democratic nomination to be president of the United States. And I wonder what that must be like. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, but what you must think when you see that and think about it.
Don't laugh at me. Most people don't talk like me, but you know I'm old. I believe that the righteous hand of the Almighty is upon this. And the reason I say that is if man had tried to figure out what to do when the current president had resigned, they would have messed it up. It happened so quick, fast, and in a hurry that no one had any time to create any mess. Everybody, all you could do was in the train and be a part of the process. And so everybody jumped on the train and they're a part of the process and they're excited about it. You know, I think we don't give joy enough credit. We just don't give joy enough credit. It's contagious. It feels good, you know. So
But for people of your generation, it must mean something extra special, I imagine.
yeah, it does. It does. It does. My late father was around to elect the first African American president. And if I told you, I'm remembering how he said, "Baby, you got to take me get registered. Baby, you got," because he moved in with me in Arizona. He's from Chicago, and we took him, and he was so proud to be able to do that. And I say to everybody now, look at what we're doing. We are doing something thoroughly amazing and unique. We're showing the rest of the world who The United States of America really is not what some others think it is, but who it really is. It's a landscape of a lot of different people in different ages who care about this country and what it means to be in this country. And we are showing up to let the rest of the world know and remember who we really are. Yes, we have yet to elect a woman, but we're fixing that this time. We are capable and able to do that. And not only will she be a female woman of color, and I'll say it like that, because she is a woman of color, of multiple cultures, and this is who we are. And I think that we will end up being that shining light on the hill again when we do this. I think we will. I believe that's our destiny.
I I have two last questions for you, and I know you're wall to wall with meetings, I'm sure, before we get going with the
I
primetime program that starts at 5:30 your time, I think, tonight. Um, Arizona is going to be very close. It's one of the 6 or 7 battleground states that will ultimately decide this election.
That's right.
Talk about the outsized role that Arizona will play. You know it quite well,
Yes, I do.
and the message you want to send to independent voters, to perhaps moderate Republicans who are skeptical of former President Trump's character and whatnot, and and those who ultimately will be the deciders here in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. I would say that this is not a policy election. This is a people election. This is an election where we, the people, must stand up and show this world that we live in who we are and who we've always been. And the only way that we can do that is to live up to our motto of E Pluribus Unum and understand that character does count and that we could not ever consider electing someone that is not of moral character and is a convicted felon for the highest job in our land. No policy could ever be that important. Not a border policy, not an inflation policy, not a refugee policy, not an international policy, and not an economic policy. The most important thing is that we show up and show the world who we really are.
You seem so emotional, and I don't mean to evoke the emotion, but if I am, again, I don't mean to, but you seem so emotional. You're taking this responsibility with such
Very serious.
conviction and such purpose. And I wonder, as you are doing this, and as you are a delegate, one of the 85 from Arizona, talk about the responsibility, the emotion that must be going through you. It's your first convention.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, so much, so much. You know, I have to be honest, Eric, because I was a Joe Biden, you know, devotee, I didn't want him to go because I thought he had done a good job, and I didn't, can I be honest? I'm gonna be honest. And please, everyone watching me, forgive me, because I promised my friends I'd eat a little crow and they could serve it up raw if they needed to. I didn't necessarily believe our country would jump behind Kamala Harris like they are. And now I'm gonna really be emotional. The fact that they are makes me so happy to be in America. And that's why I said we're all in this together, because everybody is rallying because they feel the power and the importance of the moment. So, and I'm not being theatrical, I'm just serious. This makes me feel like we're all in this together for real. And it makes me happy. that I could do that. So I'm sorry I couldn't resist it. So to my independent friends, I got a lot of Republican girlfriends and friends. I love them. I know we never talk politics. It's not important. This is our time to show up for each other and show everybody who we really are. And we have to do this. It's bigger than us. So let's get it done. Don't worry about the small stuff. It'll get figured out. The policies will always work together because when we work for together, we do good stuff in this country. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cry.
No, 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 no. Is there,
You
is there,
should have made me be honest.
but that's part of my job.
I know I couldn't resist it. It's so important that we do this together.
Um, it, D Darrell, is there anything else that you'd want to say that I may have missed or that you'd want to get across before I have one final question for you?
Okay. I'm going to say thank you in advance for being a registered voter and going out and voting. We only have a few days, or do your early voting, get your ballot in, vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They are the best candidates for the job that's in front of them. And remember, we're all in this together. We're going to show the world who we really are in November. We can do it.
There are 80, well, I guess 80 some odd days, maybe 79, 78 days
79,
left.
79, 79.
There are 79 days left. As a delegate from our swing state,
Mhm.
what is your message to other Arizonans, fellow voters?
When someone knocks on your door, give them a smile and say, I am going to vote. And if you want to tell them who you'll vote for, fine. If not, just say, I will be voting. I am registered and I will be voting. These people tirelessly knock on your doors because they want to make sure that you will be active and participate in the political process. Please participate. Please register. Please vote. We all depend on each other to get this done. That's what I'm saying. No matter who you vote for, please vote.
So you are carrying the message of vote, get
That's
engaged and make your voice heard.
make your voice heard. And if you're willing, so willing, come out and volunteer and meet some new people. You might even see me. You can meet me and tell me you're an independent or a Republican. I'll love you just as much, just the same. Come out and vote. Let's be a part of this political process. Let's get this job done. Let's show the world who we really are. And let's feel good about it. And let's share the joy of it all. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Darrell Parrish Bakeman, CD6 DNC delegate from the state of Arizona, one of 85 in Chicago for this historic week. Thank you so very much for your time. What an honor to get a
Oh,
chance to talk with you.
thank you so much for making me cry. Thank you,
Please
Sheriff.
be, please, please, please be well and enjoy the week.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk again. You have my number.
I will do that. Thank you very much. Bye.
Take care and good luck.